year. And always right with the world.
What?
Right.
It's Friday.
Friday.
And payday. And I have awesome friends. So all is good. It's all good.
Yeah. I got sleep today, so I'm happy.
That's always exciting.
Right? Anyways, so you know what? Guess what I learned today?
What?
The origin of the sticks and stones thing. The sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Found out where that came from today. There's a local DJ, and he also is one of those anti-bully type people. But even he's sitting there going, because his is like more of like people hitting on you kind of bullying, and not just you're a stupid turd head kind of bullying.
Right.
And he brought up, he looked into it and found out where it's from. It actually came from the South with the slaves.
Huh.
And it was a way sitting there going, the sticks and stones that they use on us, yeah, they may break our bones and it's going to hurt. But the words that they use against us, we're not going to allow them to hurt. And I'm like, only if some people alive now could understand that. Yeah, words can hurt, but it's how you let them affect you.
Yeah,
and it's like,
I've had that discussion with a couple of people about, oh, words have power. Well, yeah, but only if we let them.
Exactly.
You can choose to be offended, or you can choose to brush it off and move on with your life. I don't know. That's kind of how I handle the situations. I'm like, all right, I don't need your noise, so bye.
My mom taught me this thing when we're like babysitting and stuff, and because this is what she used on us. Because every kid, at some point in their life, are going to say these three little words: "I hate you."
Yep.
My mom's retort to that every time, "Well, that's too bad because I really love you." It's like, because what kind of retort are you going to have against?
That's what I do with my kids. Well, my youngest. My other ones, they never really used the "I hate you" stomp, 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 but my littlest one does. That's like her favorite go-to thing, is to tell me either "don't talk to me" or "I hate you." And so my response to that always with the "don't talk to me" is, "Oh, okay." And I pick up a book. And then to the "I hate you" is, "Oh, well, I love you."
Yeah. It's one of those things, it's so simple, but somehow in the last few years has been completely lost. And this past year, just gone. Completely gone. I don't know what happened that
I have no idea. I've given up. I really want to believe in the best in our society and the best in people, and it becomes trying sometimes. But I still think that people are generally good and kind-hearted people. They're just becoming very thin-skinned for some unknown reason, and I can't figure that out.
I'm wondering, it's do you understand how like mob mentality type, kind of works? Because people kind of feed off you. When one person is really upset, is like real angry, it's very easy for the person next to them to kind of start feeling that anger because there's that vibe there. When you start getting, all it needs is you have that one person that gets really upset, and then the next person is really upset. And it's like, kind of snowballs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you have like a whole bunch of people angry for no real good reason except for some jackwagon 2 weeks ago was having a really bad day.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you just haven't figured out how to stop that cycle.
I don't know how to stop it. The only thing I can do right now is just kind of own my own happiness and try to bring that happiness to other people. I don't know. I mean, like, here's a little personal story. Okay. So we're going on vacation this summer. We're going to be gone for a couple of weeks, actually, which is going to be amazing. And all of these things have fallen into place. Like, it's just been the strangest thing. But I will tell you that they're not randomly falling into place. This has been a very deliberate thing for me, which is just to pray about it. And last night, I couldn't sleep. I think I got 2 hours of sleep, maybe, of solid, like, actual sleep, because I was up stressing about how to pay for the rental car for us to go to Yellowstone, because the rental car is going to be kind of expensive, and that's our financial obligation. My parents are taking care of a lot of the other stuff, but our financial obligation is the taxes, fees, gas, and driving of the rental car. And since there's going to be 7 of us going, you can't just get a regular rental car. No, you got to get a big one. So I was stressing about it. Last night, my heart was pounding out of my chest because I was so stressed about it. And I laid down to try to go to sleep and just couldn't. It was awful. So I started counting my blessings, and I started giving those up in prayer, things like, hey, we have food in our house. We have a house. We're both employed. We both have paychecks. Our kids are healthy. Our kids did really well in school. We have a very nice lifestyle. Everything is good. And started putting that into perspective. And then it hit me that what I wasn't concerned about necessarily was the money side of things, but the obligation of it. Am I going to have my obligation taken care of? So I had to think about what I really wanted. Did I want money, or did I want something resolved? And I realized that what I really needed was the wisdom to figure out how to navigate this situation and get to where I needed to be to get my obligation. So that was what I sent up. And so this morning I woke up relatively at peace, considering I had 2 hours of sleep. Awesome. And went out, and it was payday, so it was time to pay bills. So I went and organized and got my bills in order, ready to go to pay. And then I thought, oh gosh, look, I have X amount of dollars set aside to pay for the rental car already. This is awesome. I'm very excited about this. Let's just see how much the rental car is today. Would you believe that logging on and doing that, it was within $100 of what I already had in the savings for the rental car.
Nice.
It was great. Like, my day started so well. My bills are paid. Everything is good. Now we're going to be a little tight with money for a little while, but that's okay because I have my obligation taken care of, and I have to be happy about that, because how can you not be? I mean, really,
right.
Like, how can I be like, I have to pay money because I'm going on vacation? What? No.
Right.
So I'm very happy, and I want to translate some of that happiness to people throughout my week, throughout this month, throughout my life. I want to be able to transfer that joy that I have, and it doesn't transfer as quickly as anger, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, I remember like watching like Pollyanna. Because that little girl was so full of joy, and the people in town just, they didn't quite get it until after she got hurt. You know, like it took something huge, and then they're like, "Oh my goodness, Pollyanna! No, well, you know, she brought so much blessing and joy into our life, and we should." It's like, really, people? And you think it was just like a Disney movie, but no, it's like, this is how people actually act, because they get so caught up here. I was thinking earlier, I was going through the Chive yesterday. I love that website. And
Good.
I forgot what the note war started about in an apartment building. Somebody put, because some guy was passed out in front of, like, he didn't make it all the way to his apartment. He was passed out, just drunk. And so his neighbors saw him and saw that he wasn't doing good. They couldn't get him awake. They couldn't do, so they called 911 on him. So an ambulance came and got him and brought him in. Well, because an ambulance came and got him, he got a bill for the ambulance. And he's sitting there going, well, whoever, called that ambulance, you need to pay me X amount of money because I never asked for an ambulance, da-da-da. So the people that called the ambulance is like, well, then maybe you shouldn't, pass out drunk where people are, are concerned about you to call an ambulance. And some other neighbors in the building, instead of like feeding off that, said her put in, I saw a hawk doing this at the park. Something like just random, but they drew where they saw the hawk. And so another person sitting there going, I think I saw the same hawk over here, and I think it was crying because of this reason. And it was just one of those, they kind of like completely flipped the script on it, where it's like, how are you now? You can't go back to that fight before because now you're on a hawk story.
True story. How do you get away from a hawk story?
Right? It's like what I tell people when I learned this from Louis C.K., who is one of my favorite comedians. He was, in a car. He's behind people at the intersection, red light. And the person behind him was sitting there honking because it's a traffic jam. They want to go. So honking and getting upset with Louis because he ain't moving. Louis is like, I can't move. There's cars in front of me.
Correct.
So he said so the person behind him got upset enough to get out of his car to now confront Louis and was getting upset. Louis like, well, I'm not going to join his argument. I'm going to now have an argument of my own. So the guy comes up just yelling at him, move your car, get going. And Louis looks at him sitting there going, where's my coat? You took my coat. You said you were going to return it. You never returned it. Where's my coat?
Oh, that's awesome.
So again, it's like one of those things. How are you supposed to fight that?
That's good. That's a good. I'm gonna have to use that. I hadn't even thought of that. That's awesome.
Well, because I'm one of those people. Because I tell people at work, I'm like, I'm one of those. I kind of have a short temper. I'm getting better at it. But all I need to do is, as soon as I pop off, let me pop off, and I'm fine. Let me have like my 2 to 5 minute rant, and then I'm fine.
Yep.
Hurt nobody. I just need to say motherfucker a few times, go off about a person at work or whatever. Fine.
I might have let a few of those fly today with customer I dealt with who was trying to steal all my happiness from today.
I was so busy laughing at some of the stupidest stuff today because it's one of those things. At my job, I'm a team leader, and I have a team meeting on Fridays. Last Friday, I took it off because I was having a niece was getting married on Saturday, and I wanted to make sure I was not working Saturday so I wouldn't be tired at the wedding. So I'm like, okay, so I missed last week's meeting. So I have a whole bunch of stuff to catch up with this week's meeting. So I had a meeting planned out. We were going to cover some stuff. I got 2 new people this week. I was going to show them, go through things with them. Last night, got into my car, went to go turn the key. Nothing. I didn't have any lights on the dashboard. Wasn't even getting the ding saying that my car, my key was even in the ignition. Nothing. Oh my. So I had a quick call into work. So I'm like, so I missed a day. Luckily I have time to, I have sick time, so I'm able to, to get paid for last night.
Right.
But I was unable to do my meeting. I'm sitting here. I'm going to have so much stuff to cover when I'm finally able to do a meeting again. Hopefully they actually remember we do meetings by the time I'm back. But on the other hand, this is my 3rd weekend off in a row where I've had 3-day weekends. So it's like, yeah, it kind of sucks 'cause I still don't have a car. Like, okay, I have a car because I rented one, but I don't have my car. But I got a 3-day weekend.
There you go.
So it's one of those things.
Can't
plus,
complain.
huh?
You can't complain about a 3-day weekend, man.
No. And plus, I have to tell you, it's so awesome. I live in a small town, and I went in to get my battery checked, get it charged, that kind of stuff. And the guys are sitting there going, okay, we'll charge it. You put it in your car and then bring it back here because we want to test that alternator. We're not sure about that alternator. I'm like, okay, cool. They charged my battery up. They didn't charge me for it. So I had to learn how to take my battery out of my car, which I've never had to do before. So got that. And then brought my battery back in, put it on there, still wasn't starting. So I had to call the tow place in town, get it towed there. So the people at the shop, they only do basically 3 things, batteries, alternators, and starters. That's basically the bread and butter. So they looked at, they're like, your battery is fully charged, the starter's new, the alternator's good, we could do this and it will start. So it's something in your steering column. Okay. It's now like almost like 10 minutes to 4 on a Friday afternoon by the time I get all this figured out. So I'm like, okay. So before I can get my car towed anywhere, I got to find a place that could take my car. So luckily, there is a mechanic in town that's still open until like 5 on a Friday. So I told him, he understood what was going on. So my car is still sitting at the place, the alternator place, because I called the tow truck company. And this tells you how often you call a tow truck company in one day. If you call this same tow truck company in the same day twice, they remember your number and remember who you are. Not that they didn't know who I was beforehand. Like I said, small town. But they'll pick up going, hey, Sparkles, how you doing? Sparkles, what you need? Sparkles, like, I need my car towed again from like this place to this place. All right, leave the keys here. We'll take it over in the morning. Thank you. They have my billing information. They have my insurance information. Nothing. So then I had to go rent a car. Well, there's an auto shop in town that rents cars. So we quick made it over there. They were all out of their cars, but they had one on hold up in the next town north. They were holding it for somebody else, but they canceled earlier and they decided not to cancel their hold on the car because they figured somebody else is going to need it. Well, I'm not somebody. So I was able to get a car, and it was really nice because the deal that the auto body has, when you rent through them for a week, you get 2 days free. So, yeah.
There you go.
So that's my day.
Sweet. Maybe not all the best things, but I mean, good things. Everything was good. It's all good. Everything is out.
So tomorrow I'm going to buy a lottery ticket.
There you go. Can't go
I
wrong.
was going to buy one today, but I decided to sleep instead. Sleep
is important.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of sleep. Considering I didn't get any last night, I'm a ginormous fan of sleep for tonight. But I'm going out tonight, so, and like out, like we're going to the strip out.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. My husband has some friends in town, and so we're gonna go meet them. So that should be fun. I don't know how late we'll be out. I'm finding I'm more of a homebody. My joy is found in my house. I like my house. Plus, people are starting to annoy me. And Friday, strip, 8:30, yikes.
Yeah. My joy lately has come from the little boy in my life, who is my niece's son. He's 9 months old. But he's so ridiculously cute. Oh my God. Because he's teaching himself kind of how to walk. Like, he's pulling himself up and, he can walk with assistance of, furniture.
Mm-hmm.
But he also likes to talk. Not so much words, but mainly, ah! Which is cute when you're at home. When you're sitting in the front of church, it's not as cute. I brought him to church last week. And they changed the seating pattern at church to kind of force everybody to sit together. So my nephew's always been, he sits in the back and he understands where he sat, so he never questioned anything. Well, then he came in and a lot of things were different. So, and we were sitting closer to the stage. And so he was trying to, he spent most of the time where he would spend his version of singing, trying to figure out what was going on. So when the sermon comes on is when he gets his bottle, and then usually he goes to sleep. Well, apparently he fell out, decided not to do that anymore. And he, it was a little stinker. He had a lot of energy.
He was just praising Jesus
in his own way. When he was, because I was the one feeding him his bottle because my niece just couldn't do it anymore. Because the kid I call him my chunk. he's not a fat baby. He's just, like I said, he's a chunk. He's just a very sturdy baby. Like, got some normal baby fat on him, but not like rolls or anything. He's just a sturdy baby at like 20 some pounds. Like, I think 22 was like the last measurement on him. So one of the things that he likes to do is kind of do like that flip over backwards.
Oh, yeah, I'm very familiar with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So my niece doesn't have the arm strength to keep up with that all the time. So she's like, "Can you take him?" Sure. And he kept flipping over. I'm like, "Come on, kid. You got to," because he still has a bottle in his mouth, but it's very hard to swallow upside down.
Indeed.
But luckily there was a mom on the next, kind of next to me. So she was sitting there, talking to him, making him giggle. But after a while, I'm like, he doesn't want his bottle anymore. He's full of energy. So I took him in the back of church where we have room, and I was letting him crawl. Unfortunately, he likes to crawl under chairs. So I spent most of my time getting him not to crawl under the chairs and not down the aisle. Because I don't want to disturb other people in church.
Goodness. They're awesome.
It's right. Towards the end of church, we were outside in the lobby where there was two other babies, a couple months older than him, but they were able to play together. It was funny because one was kind of walking, but saw that Silas was crawling, so he got on the floor and was crawling with my nephew. I'm like, oh goodness. To me, I'm just sitting there going, this is too cute. Love it. Because I'm trying to let my niece have some time to herself and actually hear a sermon.
Yeah, that's nice.
It is. Yeah. And then we got to go grocery shopping afterwards, and I got to teach my niece the wonderful world of Aldi. I don't even know if Aldi is nationwide or not.
I don't think so. I don't think we have Aldi out here.
Okay. For you that don't know what an Aldi is, or even a Save-A-Lot, it's one of those discount grocery stores. Where you can go in and you can get things cheaper than, like Walmart type of things. And she's one of those. She's on assistance. So I was helping her. I was trying to show her how to grocery shop on a budget, where she can get healthy. She already knows how to get the healthy food. It was just making that dollar stretch. She bought almost 7 bags of food. And that's not even including the milk that she bought. She bought 2 gallons of milk. But she bought about almost 7 bags of food for $91.
Nice.
So, I mean, she was and she's never been to that store before.
Oh.
That's her new favorite grocery store.
I bet. Well, yeah. That's right. I'll tell you, Walmart's my favorite place to shop. I tell people this all the time. They're like, oh, it's Walmart. It's low class, people of Walmart, blah, blah, blah. No, stop. I have 3 children to shop for. I have a teenage boy.
Yeah.
All right. So I need to make my dollars go woo as far as I can. Now, I also have 3 kids in school, which means that's 3 different school supply lists, which is awesome. So one year when I had the money to do so, I don't even know how I ended up with the money to do so, but I bought all the school supplies at Walmart. And then just for comparison's sake, I went and bought all the school supplies at Target. I returned 99% of the stuff that I bought from Target because it literally was twice as much for me to buy the school supplies at Target than it was for me to buy them at Walmart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Because I've worked at Walmart, and I understand when people say low class, work there. No, but it's not every customer does that. It's just they appear more because everybody has camera phones nowadays.
Yes.
I mean, I was talking with my mom, I think like last week, because even like when I was little, it wasn't much to go to the grocery store on a Saturday morning here in town, and you would see half the housewives with their hair up in curlers, and no one batted an eye.
No.
So it's been something that changed in society's kind of dynamic, that wearing curlers out or whatever, not dressing up to go to the grocery store, you know, people are like, oh, that's shameful. No, the only time I sit there and I kind of laugh at some of these people at Walmart is if you got big old shit stains in the back of your pants, you're wearing something that is 2 sizes too small for you, or you're wearing something that should never be worn by a human. Number one was I saw this woman, a very voluptuous woman, who took a tank top and was wearing it as a mini skirt. Stop. Don't do that kind of stuff.
I just, no. Why? Why would you? Why? No. Just be self-respecting.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I don't always look my best when I go out. I try to be what's considered decent. Like, I'm not having body parts, you know, coming out of my my clothing, you know, in inappropriate spots. I can't say much about my hair being done because, let's face it, this hair kind of just does itself. It does its own thing.
Right. Yeah.
I may not have makeup on, but for the most part, I have shoes on my feet. I'm clothed in relatively clean clothes because, you know, there's just days you got your grubbies on because you're cleaning your house, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I need such and such from the store real quick.
I apologize, but there seems to be World War III happening in my house. There are doors slamming and children screaming. I don't even know what's going on, but I'm just going to pretend that that didn't happen because they're trying to steal my joy.
Darn kids.
Not going to happen. My husband is home. He can handle it, I think.
Those darn fascists trying to steal your joy.
I tell you, some people.
Going to be state run.
Yeah, I'm going to send him to the home.
There you go.
Nah, I can't do that. I get in trouble.
Right?
Just, like, to be responsible for my children or something.
Like, you gotta feed them at least twice a day or something.
You know, but if you feed them, they just keep coming back.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And sometimes we feed them steak.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Sometimes. Not all the time. Special occasion type things. And only if we can find super cheap steak at Costco.
Right? I told my mom the secret of buying steak. I said, you go to Meijer Wednesday morning. Because they don't last till Wednesday afternoon. Go Wednesday morning. And that's when they got put down that manager special price.
Do you know, I got to figure out when they do this at Walmart because I got the best manager special. I was going to be making a turkey dinner for the kids because I wasn't home for Thanksgiving this last year, so I was making it later. And normally I get a fresh turkey, which runs me about $28 for the turkey, somewhere around there. Dude, I got a big old turkey, fresh too, not frozen. $6.
Oh my, that is an awesome deal. Oh my goodness.
Right? The butcher was right there. He's like, "What are you looking for?" I'm like, "Oh, a turkey." He goes, "I just marked these down. They're like 49 cents a pound." Okay. Don't have to ask me twice.
Right? Oh my goodness.
And they were like Jenny O turkeys. They were really like they weren't your generic, great value ones. They were name brand. Marked way, way down. And I was making it that night, so it's not like so
yeah, it's awesome. I love when you find deals like that because there's an out of work because this is the kind of week I've been having. Had my jeans, like, we'll call them capris. Was wearing them to work, and it was at the beginning of the shift. I was showing a new guy around where to get different things, what different things are called, and I had to go get a knife. So I had to push this cart out of my way so I can go grab, a box cutter. Well, I have it's one of those pre-ripped type of jeans. Mm-hmm. Well, it kind of got caught on this Rubbermaid cart, and it ripped open my whole upper thigh.
Oh no!
So I'm like, oh, and because it's stretch, it's not regular jean. It's like that stretch jeans that everybody basically uses out there. It's not like you could just sit there with a staple and staple it up,
right?
Because there's so much force going against it. So I tried my best because I didn't want. I got pasty weddings beginning of summer. I haven't had a chance to sit out. Nothing. So I'm sitting there trying my best to kind of keep it so I don't, because I have one leg that's tight and another one that's just kind of loose and open. So I tried. So after work, I'm like, well, I have to go to Meijer to go grab some stuff. I decided to go to the clothing department, and they had some stuff on clearance. I got a $28 pair of jeans for $7.
Love it. Love all of it. Love everything about it.
I was just so happy because I was meeting a realtor that morning, and I didn't want to show up in those pants.
Oh my gosh, how redneck would that be? Like, I fixed my pants all by myself. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Funny. See, people, you gotta just find the joy in life. Like, you could cry about a situation like that, but then good things come out of it. So find your joy, man. Find it. Every day there's something.
Vodka lady.
Seriously, I want her to be my best friend. That woman, I understand she got a little overexposed, whatnot. I understand some people I know got a little sick of hearing about her. But I challenge you to go back and watch that video, that original video that she posted again, and not smile, not tear up a little bit, not clap along with her. Oh my goodness, it was just
pure joy.
Oh, she was so happy. I have to imagine. So the last time I was at Disney World, went with Run Amok, and well, you guys know she did a show with us. Anywho, I tried to prep her. I tried to prep people ahead of time that have not been to the Disney parks with me. Because it is a surreal experience for you, and I know it will be because I'm weird. And I get really super excited about the dumbest things. Really, honestly, it's terrible. So we're driving into the parks, and this is the first time that I've seen the parks in 6 years. It's the first time we're driving into the parks, and It's the first time I've really seen Orlando during the day during this trip. So all exciting things. We're on a lower freeway and we take a ramp to get up on a higher freeway. Well, here's the thing about Florida. I don't know if you know about this. It's super flat, like flat. So you get up a little bit high, you can see forever. So we got up on the freeway. I exclaimed so loudly and pointed and was just like, I turned into a 2-year-old. I point out the window. I go, the swanning dolphin! Oh my God! Ah! And I'm pointing out all these things that we can clearly see out the windshield. I don't need to point them out. She can see them. Oh, she was just giggling. She was laughing butt off at me. But I get really excited about that stuff. That's why the Chewbacca lady would be a great best friend to me, because she and I would just find so much excitement in the littlest things. It would be so much fun.
Right. It is. It's one of those that you literally have to. And it's one of those things that's greatly lacking lately. But I have to say, I know we've been doing a good feeling show, but that whole stupid Twitter war, and it wasn't even, there was like a couple shots fired for that, so I don't think it's really considered a war between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And I still stand by my remark on that. I am waiting for the I'm rubber, you're glue. You know.
Yeah.
But it's like I sit here and I just kind of laugh about it, because it's like, oh my goodness, you know.
These are our choices, people. These are our choices.
And it's like, it does. It's one of those things. It freaking just cracks me up, because people get lost in social media, and they get, lost in like the most stupidest things. They're not able to get outside their bubble anymore. So they're completely just caught up. And when it kind of starts imploding like that, hilarious.
It was interesting. It was interesting to watch. It would have been more hilarious, I think, for me to see that had that not been presidential nominees doing that.
I would have liked it better if it was some of the bloggers that have been fighting. I would have found it more hilarious if it was like Neil Dewing versus anyone.
There you go. But instead we had the presidential nominees. Presidential. One calling the other one crooked, and the other one just retorting with delete your account. Are we 5?
I know. I'm sitting there going, oh my God. Y'all had a choice. You could have voted Hope Sparkles. You might still have a choice, because I'm running for libertarian dictator.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. My whole platform is you're going to have freedom and like it.
If you have a write-in option in your state, choose Pope Sparkles.
Exactly.
It'll be interesting. I wish Nevada had a write-in situation, but we don't. The only option we have is to vote for no candidate.
Sure, if my state has a write-in.
Check. See? Because if you have a write-in, write-in whatever. I think it was it Eisenhower almost lost to Mickey Mouse? No, like, seriously. Because so many people wrote in Mickey Mouse because they were just done with the election.
Right. I think it's Sweden. They literally, they made it a law that you couldn't vote for Donald Duck because he's so popular over there.
That's awesome.
I'm like, But could you imagine? Now, go with me, people. We've all heard Donald Duck talk. Could you imagine him upset and trying to give a speech? It would be the most hilarious thing ever.
My dad does really good.
Better yet, Donald Duck would be basically have his right hand. Does Sweden even have a nuclear option? I don't know if they even have nuclear bombs.
No, that's Switzerland is neutral.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know what Sweden has. I don't know if they. I don't think they do. But
let's go with Sweden's army, that kind of stuff, because that tells you how much about world politics I know. But let's say they have kind of like a nuclear option, the whole football type of thing that we got, type of deal going. Donald Duck would be the one calling in the codes. How would you be able to take that seriously? I had a friend, if I was truly upset, the only way he could make me giggle is that he would sit there and look at me deadpan and talk in a Donald Duck voice. Because it does. It's a voice that makes no sense to me.
My dad does the same thing, and it's hysterical. He does Donald Duck voices. It makes me laugh. I can't. I'm useless when it comes to that. No, not a talent I got from my dad. No. But I do enjoy listening to him talk, and that would be funny if he actually got nominated into political power.
I'm just State of the Union addresses would be way more interesting.
He doesn't wear pants. He has no pants. He'd be the pantsless wonder.
Right? I think we need to start re-looking at our whole political system here. I think we got it all.
We need fictional characters. I mean, we pretty much have one of them running right now.
I vote for this guy.
Yeah.
Because I am not going with a whole new Marvel take on him, making him Hydra from the beginning. No, I've seen his backstory. He has a few, I know his origin.
Yeah.
And
he's nothing good. He is
years later instead of going, oh, he's been Hydra the whole time. No, you're trying to rewrite history. Captain Steve Rogers is not Hydra. Stop it.
Nor is he gay. Let's just put that one to rest right now. Right now. Make it die with fire.
Exactly. It's one of those things, you got Green Lantern, you want a Marvel character, don't pick Captain America. I mean, it's even in his origin story. His heart was with Peggy.
Yeah.
Don't sit there and try to make him in love, have that kind of same love for Bucky. His love for Bucky is completely different.
No, they're besties. But it brings up this whole notion of how do I raise my son in a world where he's not allowed to have a best friend because God forbid he have a best friend and they be considered gay. I don't. So frustrating.
It is. I was reading some kind of article or I was listening to somebody talk. I don't remember because it was over a month ago. And they were discussing how guys used to talk to each other during the founding of this country. If you were to read the letters from back then, now, they sound completely gay. But I got a theory. Back in the 1940s, 50s, everybody started going real ultra conservative square type of thing. So you weren't allowed, boys couldn't do certain things. It became that kind of mindset that a lot of people, because like if you go back and you look at 1940 and before, entertainment wise, especially when it comes to vaudeville, the guys, they sang, they danced, and no one thought anything of it. Now if you see a guy on the Broadway stage singing and dancing and loving it, he's gay.
Apparently he's gay. He might be, but that doesn't mean he is. Like, That may be a topic for another day, because we're running close on time here a little bit. But
because I had a discussion with my brother, because when my nephew was 7, I was raising him, and I was going through, the channels, finding something to watch. And on PBS, they were airing the stage version of Oklahoma. Well, I like Oklahoma, and I know the movie quite well. I was in the stage version at school. So I want to see this stage version. Guess who was playing Curly? One of the manliest men on the planet by the name of Hugh Jackman. He's sitting there singing and dancing. And my brother got upset because he's like, I don't want my son to be gay. It's Hugh Jackman. It's Hugh fucking
Wolverine.
I'm like, you don't get. There's very few men who are more manlier than Hugh Jackman. We all saw him burst out of that bathtub.
He is pretty manly, and he is a triple threat. He can sing, he can dance, he can act. He's very good at all three, and he enjoys doing all three.
Yes.
He was in Beauty and the Beast. He played Gaston. I'm serious.
No, I was just picturing him playing that. That would be funny.
Yeah, like how perfect, right? A few years ago, like it was like when it first came out on Broadway. But anyway.
No, I gotta tell you, like the best thing I have ever read. I think it was on Tumblr that I saw this. They did like a X-Men movie, and they allowed Deadpool to be on it. But to keep it with X-Men, they have to keep a PG-13, rating.
Right.
So Deadpool's in it, and he can't say fuck because you only get one fuck. You can only say it once during the whole movie. So every time he wants to say it, he stops himself and says something different. And throughout the whole movie, he keeps doing that. And then comes the perfect time to drop the F-bomb. Wolverine says it.
I saw that. It's very good. It's true. It's true.
I'm like, I would watch that movie over and over again because I could just imagine the face Deadpool would make. Because how are you going to go up against Wolverine?
You can't. You can't. It's Wolverine. Anyway. All right, we're pushing time here. So I guess my last thing for all our viewers, just find your joy and try to spread it with somebody. At least like multiply it once out. Like give it to somebody. And even if they can only give it to one person, at least like we're getting some joy out there in the world, because there is a lot of anger and we don't need any more anger. We're good. We've met our quota. We're good on anger. But if you have any problems,
like 2050, we're good.
We're good. But if you do want to be angry with me, that's fine. Go right on ahead. You can tweet me at InDepthGirlism. If you are angry with me, I will try to kill you with kindness, but don't expect me to be totally nice. Don't take my joy as weakness.
True. Same thing with me. Bam! Pop sparkles! You want to be upset with me? Fine. Unfortunately, like Muffy said, we'll kill you with kindness. The only difference is kindness is the name of my gun. Yeah. Not really.
All right. Yeah. Gun jokes are always good to end on.
I know, because why? Because guns are family fun for everyone.
Indeed. All right. Well, you have a fabulous evening, and thank you for joining us for May Dames.
Yes. So